Welcome back to our series where we give an overview of the gear that we use. Today we're going to talk about some of the tripods that we use on a day-to-day basis. So we have two main tripods that we use, one from Manfrotto and one from Benro. So on the Manfrotto side, we have a combination of a 701 HDV head, which is a DSLR fluid head, and then we have it on 190XB sticks. On the Benro side, we have an S4 head sitting on a sticks that I don't know. A2573F sticks. Not as familiar with this tripod as it is Tim's personal tripod that he brings to work every now and then. So what do we use these tripods for? Well, what do anybody use tripods for? They're for stabilization, they're for static shots, slightly moving shots. The important thing is that these are cheap fluid head tripods. So we're using them for our interviews, we're using them for event coverage. We generally have our cameras on our tripods doing most of our shooting. And another reason that we use tripods like this is that the cameras that we're using are not that big. We're using a Nikon D7000 and 7200, which are both DSLRs, and we're using a Blackmagic Micro Cinema camera. So we don't need big, heavy tripods and big, expensive tripods for those. What is our setup? We put the cameras on the tripod, simple as that, but sometimes, occasionally, we do use the tripods to stabilize a slider as well. All right, what do we like? Well, the first thing I have to mention about these tripods is that they are definitely on the cheaper side of fluid head tripods, and that's one of the best things about them. I don't remember the exact cost of these tripods, but we're probably looking in the $250 to $350 range Canadian, maybe pushing to $400, but probably not that high. And that is actually pretty cheap when it comes to a fluid head tripod. Now, if you guys are new to video and you don't know what fluid head tripods are, fluid head is basically a resistance that allows you to create smooth shots. Now, more expensive tripods allow you to adjust the fluidity. These ones have a fixed resistance on them. But nonetheless, they are a fluid head, and I love that about them. What do we like about the Benro? The Benro tripod, first of all, has a compatible plate with the Manfrotto plate, which is really nice. So they share the same plate, so it's kind of easy to interchange them. Now, I will say the Benro plate fits nicely in the Manfrotto tripod, but the Manfrotto plate does not fit nicely in the Benro tripod. Or is it the other way around? One of these fits in one and one doesn't. Okay. Now, while they don't fit perfectly in each tripod, they definitely are compatible, and it's just sometimes they're not as tight as they could be. Now, a couple things that we don't like come from the fact that these are cheaper end tripods. So first thing, like I mentioned, they don't have an adjustable fluidity. So when you get into like Sackler heads and the upper end Manfrotto heads, you can actually adjust how much resistance there is on them. These do not have an adjustable resistance, they just have a fixed resistance. And sometimes that gets a little bit annoying, especially when you start to rig up all the stuff that sits on the tripod, right? When you have a lot of stuff that's sitting on the tripod, it's really hard to get a nice, good resistance on that. The second thing that's not very good about the Manfrotto head specifically is that it's not a ball head. So you can't adjust the leveling of it, and you only have to adjust the leveling by the tripod legs. Now the Benro is nice because the Benro actually does have a ball head that you can level. Now this can be solved with a little add-on that you can buy from Amazon that gives you a leveling head. It's nice to have a built-in leveling head on your tripod. And in some cases you don't want all the legs out, so you kind of want them halfway through, and it's hard to kind of get them all perfect. So it's nice to have a ball head that you can adjust after you've adjusted the legs. Now again, I want to clarify that's only for the Manfrotto. The Benro S4 head actually does have a leveling head. All right, so that's pretty much it. These are good entry-level tripods for video making. I mean, one of the things we want to stress to you guys out there is that we've been making corporate video for 5-6 years, and we're still using some gear that's not crazy expensive, right? So that may not be out of your grasp. We are still using these tripods. One thing I should mention is that you can no longer buy the 701 HDV head. Manfrotto replaced it with what I believe is called the 500 AH or something like that. Manfrotto has replaced it about the same price, about the same features. So you can look at that head for sure in the future. All right, if you guys have any questions at all about these tripods or how we use them or what we put on them, leave the questions in the comments below. We'll get back to you as soon as we can. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel as we're publishing videos as much as we can these days. And don't forget to hit that little bell icon if you want to be notified about when we post new videos. All right, that's it guys. We'll see you in the next video.
Chilling.